On January 3, 2026, at around 2 a.m., the skies over Caracas's Venezuela suddenly went dark. By 5 a.m., Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro had vanished without a trace. The entire world was left speechless. But how? How could the United States carry out such a daring operation without the world noticing? In reality, the world's attention was focused on the Caribbean Sea. International media were busy covering the movements of U.S. naval fleets and warships conducting large-scale military exercises. Even Venezuela's armed forces were distracted, expecting a possible attack from the sea. Meanwhile, in the capital city of Caracas, a silent shadow war was unfolding. This was not a conventional battle but a carefully planned surgical extraction mission. The target was none other than the country's president. Planning this operation took months. Removing a sitting president overnight was never going to be easy. The trap had already been set. The U.S. Navy had surrounded Venezuela's coastline, while aircraft carriers and warships established what appeared to be a maritime blockade. The United States publicly labeled Venezuela as a narco-terrorist state, claiming the deployment was intended to stop drug trafficking. But according to this story, the real objective was one man: President Nicolas Maduro. CIA intelligence officers had reportedly monitored his movements for months, waiting for the perfect moment when he would remain in one secure location. That opportunity supposedly arrived during the first days of the new year. The classified mission, codenamed Operation Southern Spear, allegedly began precisely at 2 a.m. Several advanced U.S. Air Force F-35 stealth fighter jets roared into the sky. Flying below enemy radar detection, they entered Venezuelan airspace and created a massive gap in the country's air defense network. Russian-made S-300 missile radar systems deployed across Venezuela were reportedly destroyed in the opening phase. With the skies cleared, Delta Force helicopters and support drones moved toward Caracas. Before the main assault, however, an extraordinary deception was launched. As the Delta Force helicopters headed toward the capital, the F-35s appeared to change direction, triggering heavy bombing and intense gunfire elsewhere. American forces launched devastating strikes on Fort Tayuna and La Carlota airbase. Massive explosions shook the city, flames lit up the horizon, and Caracas' communication network collapsed into darkness and confusion. But the destruction was never the true objective. Its real purpose was to distract the defenders and create an opening for another team to enter unnoticed. During the chaos, the primary assault force quietly advanced toward the center of Caracas. Flying at extremely low altitude, the helicopters skimmed above rooftops, avoiding radar detection. Without warning, they reached the heavily guarded presidential shelter inside the Fort Tayuna military complex. Although the presidential guards attempted to resist, they were reportedly overwhelmed. Heavy machine gun fire from above kept them pinned down while Delta Force operators split into multiple assault teams. Every detail had supposedly been planned in advance: which doors to breach, which staircases to climb, and how to clear each section of the building. Within seconds, explosive charges blasted open the entrances. Flash grenades filled the rooms with blinding light and deafening noise, leaving defenders disoriented. Reinforced steel doors were cut open with specialized torches or destroyed with explosives whenever necessary. Maduro had barely awakened before the commandos reportedly stormed into the room. Within moments, Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Cilia Flores, were taken into custody without any opportunity to negotiate. Two heavy transport helicopters landed near the rooftop, quickly loaded the couple aboard, and departed immediately. Within minutes, the helicopters had left Caracas behind and crossed Venezuelan airspace toward the Caribbean Sea, where a massive U.S. aircraft carrier, essentially a floating military base, was reportedly waiting. The mission was declared a success. According to this fictional scenario, Operation Southern Spear changed South America's geopolitical landscape overnight. It portrayed the first secret extraction of a sitting head of state by a foreign military force. The story presents an intense thriller of deception, speed, and precision, suggesting that no one was beyond America's reach and portraying a world where power outweighed rules.